Hey guys, welcome back to Home Theater Guru. So today we're going to be looking at remotes. We're going to be looking at the SofaBaton. We've got the X1 and the X1S right here. We're going to be looking at both of those. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. We've got the X1 here and the X1S right here. They are very similar. They look the same. Just looking at them until the screen comes on. The X1S has an upgraded screen with much higher resolution, or maybe just a little more pop, a cleaner look. And you can see right there, this one right here is the X1, this one is the X1S. Another thing it has is when you pick the X1S up, it senses it and has a little gyro in there or something, and it knows you picked it up. So it's backlit on pickup. The X1, you've got to pick it up and press a button to get it to light up. So that's a big plus for the X1S. Other than that, function of the two remotes is about the same. I mean, I don't know if the X1S is snappier. I mean, to me, it felt the same. It's really just being able to pick it up and not have to press a button. But that is a big deal when you're in a dark room. Setup is very, very easy. It's done, with your phone. There's an app you download and it walks you through it. Now, these remotes, just like the Harmony remotes, they're activity-based. So you're going to set it up like, what do you want to do? Do you want to watch TV, watch Netflix, play Xbox? So that's what you're going to do. You'll go to activities on your remote, and you can see right there, get it to focus. And what you'll actually do is you will roll the little ball right here to whatever activity you want and push it in. And so now, what did I get? I'm going to watch Xbox 360. So it's starting the room up as we speak. Well, it's probably starting it up. I'm about 75 feet away probably from the room with a few walls. So it may not be doing it. I would get about 35 to 40 feet and it would start having connection issues. So I believe that it is RF to the hub. And of course the hub is shooting IR to all the equipment. It's got a blaster with two outputs with wires that you can run, in the little individual sensors to shoot IR to your devices. So it works really well. It works, basically the same as the hubs do for the Harmony as far as that goes. It does have a neat feature on the hub where you can press the button, and if you lose your remote will start beeping. So if it's lost in a couch cushion or something like that, that's a really cool feature. So, but once you set your activities up, that's how you're going to control it, or that's how you tell it what you want to do, and it's going to turn everything on for you, set everything to the right sources. We're going to go over that. Had an issue with that. But it's just with the type of processor, I think, but we're going to go over that. So for general control, it's actually a really, really good remote. If you don't have a Harmony, jump on one of these. It's a great remote to control your room, relatively easy with little hiccups. I did have a few little issues we're going to cover now. So let's go ahead and cover some of the cons. Now, one issue I had is I have an Anthem processor. And when you're setting up the remote for the sources, if you're watching Xbox, you need to know what source to set the Anthem to. Well, you have to look at your remote and it wants to know how does your remote control sources? Well, in the Anthem, you have to press input and then you have to use like the little cursor in the middle to scroll to it and then hit enter. So it kind of it's like it keeps up with what source you're on. It knows, okay, I need to, if you change sources, go from like Xbox 360, now I want to watch NVIDIA Shield. I guess it knows it's like 3 over to the right, so that's what it's trying to do. And sometimes it would get maybe lost or confused or whatever, and it would be on the wrong source. So I would have to, use the remote and have to back out of the screen because it's on the activity screen. I have to back out to get the devices. And then once I was in devices, I could go to my processor and go to the right input. Now with the Harmony, it didn't matter what it was, it just wants to know what input is it. So if it's like input 2, it goes to input 2 every time. So that was an issue that I've never had with the Harmony that I did have with this. Of course, if your remote set up differently, maybe your remote has input 1, input 2 already on it, that's actually a hard button on the remote, then you probably wouldn't have a problem with the SofaBaton. Maybe getting confused. I know it can be done with Harmony. It would be really cool if they were able to do it with SofaBaton where it doesn't matter what the remote says, you just tell it what input it's on and the SofaBaton can go to it without having to try to toggle over or whatever it's doing to get to the input it thinks you should be on. So as far as function goes, that's really my only biggie. Now it's just because of the type of processor I had, again, and the way the remote for the Anthem works. Now I did forget to cover learning. This is a learning remote, so it's got a database and you tell it what all the equipment you have. But if you have something that's not in there, you can teach the remote very, very easily. Or if you want a button to do something else other than what's like pre-programmed, very easy to do through the app, super easy. So the remote really is very, very flexible and you can pretty much make it do whatever you want. One other big con, this is gonna be my biggest one. This is a backlit remote, both of these are. But of course the X1S is backlit when you pick it up. If it goes to the wrong input and I'm on activities, I've got to back out of activities and get to devices. So what I've got to do is, let me get that to focus. I've got to hit, you see there's a power button and there's a back button. I've got to hit the back button. These are not backlit. For some reason, in the dark, you can't see anything. You pick up the remote, everything is backlit except for those two buttons. And in my opinion, the most important button on this remote is the power button, because that's the button you do not want to touch. I guess I can count it. About 3 times I've hit the power button trying to, thinking I was hitting the back button. So what I started doing was getting my phone out, using a flashlight if I need to, or just getting some illumination to make sure I'm hitting the wrong stinking button or hitting the right stinking button. Because if you hit the power button, everything's gonna go black. If you got a projector, especially a lamp-based projector, you're gonna be waiting 2 to 3 minutes for it to, cool down so you can start it back up and the lamp can reignite. And anyway, it's just a pain in the butt, a major pain in the butt. I do not know why that is not backlit. That should definitely be backlit. Another major issue, which has happened to me about 2 or 3 times as well, the power button, let's hold it up there again. So the power button is up top on the very edge, the very corner. And I've got a tray table on my seats, and that's where I keep my remote and my phone and all that. So I'll get the show going and then I'll set the remote down. Okay, the off button is in this corner. I'll set it down, and I just pressed it just now. You set it down, and if you bump it too hard, you press the off button. So the first time I did it, I didn't know what the heck happened. I set the remote down, everything went black. Well, I just bumped that button on accident and turned the whole room off. That's just a poor placement. So I don't know, maybe move the button down or put like a little ridge up there, recess it or something so you can't accidentally press the power button. I know I'm getting nitpicky, but that's just some little things that it happened to me. When it happens to you, it's aggravating, especially not being backlit. It just makes no sense. Out of all the buttons to not be backlit, that's the worst one, the power button. Okay, another pet peeve of mine or issue is lighting control and being able to control other devices, like home devices and things like that. Blinds, thermostats. It doesn't do like my thermostat. It also doesn't do my lighting. I have Lutron in there that works over my network, my home network. It does not control that. So in the past with the Harmonies, I guess we're gonna go ahead and kind of compare to the Harmony here. When I hit watch Netflix, the room comes on. I would have my air conditioning fan set to come on, just get some ventilation in there. If I wanted to, I could have it set to a desired temperature. It was very, very flexible. And when I hit play, the lights would come down. If I hit pause on whatever I'm watching, I had the lights set to like 50%. So it was very, very handy, hit play and then go back down. I can't do that because it doesn't control my type of lighting. Now, if you had IR lighting, infrared, in other words, like you aim a remote at the wall switch to turn the lights up and down, if the SofaBaton hub is close enough or aimed at it and close enough, it's possible you could get it to work, or it would work if it was close enough to it and aimed at it. So you can do that. Now they do support Philips Hue. Honestly, I don't really know anybody that has home theater that uses Philips Hue. Everybody seems to use Lutron. That's what I used to. It would be great if it had a little bit more, use more lighting systems, that would be awesome. And also being able to communicate with thermostats doesn't seem like a big deal, but it was a cool feature that I used. And every time we go in the room, in this one here, the fan has to be on because we have a projector in there and I want some ventilation, I want air moving. So that's just like one of the rules to use the room, make sure the fan is on. So depending on what you want out of the remote, it's limited in some ways. But overall, if you do not have a Harmony, you know, go grab it. It's a good remote. Very, very few issues with it. I'm just, you know, kind of nitpicking the few little things. Of course, now the off button, not being backlit and being in that top corner where you can, you know, bump it, that's kind of aggravating. Now I do put it up, if you're wondering why I put it upside down, I've got tactile transducers, the Croson, and I mean, sometimes it'll shake the seat, you know, stuff will fall off of that tray table. And this being backlit, the light comes on, you know, if it shakes a little, the light comes on. That's kind of aggravating when you're in a pitch black room. So I'll put the remote upside down so I don't see it. That's why I put my remote upside down, but it doesn't matter. If I want to put my remote upside down, I put my remote upside down, and it's just aggravating that that button gets pressed. All right, so how does it compare to the Ultimate and the Elite right here? So this is the last remote that they made, kind of the top dog. This is the Harmony Ultimate, or I'm sorry, the Harmony Elite. This is the Harmony Ultimate. Between the two, actually, I like the Ultimate. I mean, they have the same functions. The Elite had a few more devices that it can control, but the Ultimate, I mean, it's still got a picture of my old room. You can see on there. Both fantastic remotes. They come with a charging base because they don't have the battery life of the SofaBaton. I don't know, maybe they don't have lithium ion, maybe the SofaBaton does. Plus it's got a touchscreen. You know, where the SofaBaton just has a roller, you know, SofaBaton is not a touchscreen, but it still works really nice. The roller ball is actually very, very nice. You know, so that's not really a con. I can't call it a con, at least, because the roller ball works so well. But, you know, this one's touchscreen, so you just use your thumb and, you know, I just told it to turn on. It's not even hooked up. The hub's not hooked up, but it's trying to turn on Shield TV right now. The Harmony remotes were so popular because they just worked. I mean, I think I got this one for $180. This one I got for $200. You know, Black Friday sales, things like that. This one retailed for like $350. But it wasn't rare to find them on, you know, find some good sales. So price-wise, nowadays, since they've gone out of business a couple years back, I mean, you might pay $600 for this remote, and it's probably going to be used. It's really hard to find any that are still in a box. You know, you're going to pay more than you should. So if you don't have a remote, unless you just have the money, I would get a SofaBaton. If you've got a Harmony, or you have if you have an Elite or an Ultimate from Harmony, you know, with the hub. If you don't have the hub, I would get the hub for it today, because the hub is really what unlocks it, or gives you all the really cool features, not having to point the remote at the equipment and all that stuff. I would get a hub, but if you don't have one of these, get a SofaBaton. That's kind of really the only thing that's out there that's competitive to what the Harmony was. It's not a lateral move. The Harmony and the Elite, or the Harmony remotes, are better. Not by much, but they are a slight upgrade over the SofaBaton. But the SofaBaton has been getting better and better and better. You know, the X1S is better than the X1. And, you know, with a few little tweaks, I mean, who knows? But it's also a cheaper remote. I mean, I'm looking right now on Amazon. The X1S is $189. So, you know, that's, I guess, not even on sale. Yeah, that looks like that's the regular price is $190. You know, you had to find a steal of a deal to find one of these at that price. So, I mean, you can't expect to have a touch screen and all that. And like I said, the roller ball works just fine. So bottom line, if you do not have one of these remotes, grab a SofaBaton. There's really nothing else on the market that's gonna really compete with the SofaBaton right now. Now, I do have affiliate links down in the description for the SofaBaton, so if you would use those links, helps me out a little bit. You know, I'll make $1 or $2. You know, not a killing or anything like that, but anything helps. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for this one. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when the next videos come out, and I will see y'all for the next one.